Now, the Capital Region's #1 late news, News Channel 13, live at 11.
Tonight's top story, planes flying from the Albany International Airport are causing problems for some local residents.
This is News Channel 13, live at 11.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ed Dague.
And I'm Lydia Kulbida. The people who run the Albany International Airport are about to begin studying the noise of the planes that pass overhead. But some people say they already know how loud the planes are.
John Allen joins us live from the airport with the story. John.
Well, Ed, we spoke to residents of one neighborhood which is not at all adjacent to this airport, but is certainly in one of its flight paths.
This study will investigate the glide slopes, the runway use, and we'll talk to people in neighborhoods. They'll be invited here to public hearings to hear their input, to find out what's happening outside of our area.
In one Albany neighborhood, residents tell us they're experiencing a noise level which at times is literally a conversation stopper.
Late evening and early morning, we're experiencing noise level from the planes sufficient to stop a conversation.
That may seem surprising, given this neighborhood is near the New York State office campus in the city of Albany, at least 5 miles from the airport.
I've been living here since 1988, and it seems that since I moved in, it gradually has been getting louder over the years.
That is surprising, since airport officials say over the last year, even with the addition of Southwest Airlines and the number of passengers carried up about 35%, the actual number of flights has been reduced, and the planes themselves have gotten quieter.
The study's going to take a while, but there's going to be a tremendous amount of public input as well. We'll have meetings here where the public will be invited to speak, their comments will be heard, and they will go into the study.
The study, which we're told will take 2 years to conduct, will be paid for mostly by federal dollars at the cost of nearly $500,000. Now, the study officially begins on Monday, and as you heard, there are going to be many public hearings, we're told, during the 2-year period that is going to be conducted. In the meantime, if you have a complaint about noise that you believe is coming from planes arriving or departing from Albany International Airport, you can call the number you see on your screen. We're told it's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Ed?
You wonder, John, if the study even shows, though, that there is noise, what can they do about it? They're not going to move the airport. I suppose they can adjust the landing patterns to some extent, but that may just move it elsewhere.
Well, what they're talking about in this neighborhood in particular, and that's all that I can really speak on tonight, they're saying that if they move the flight pattern slightly over toward the office campus, even in the evening and the morning, in the early morning hours, that would certainly be a welcome relief to the residents of this neighborhood.
Well, we'll see what they find out. Thank you, John Allen, live at the airport. Lydia.
Some elementary school students presented a very special gift to their school's retiring secretary. We'll show it to you in just a few moments.
First, though, Bob Kovachick joins us from the Weather Center with our first warning forecast.
All right, good evening, everyone, and let's take a look at Saturday's forecast. We got lots of sunshine headed our way. Another clear, cold start tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine. 35 around the 7 to 8 o'clock hour. Plenty of sun all day long. Temperatures topping off at around 58 during the lunchtime period. And into the afternoon, low to mid-60s. Should be an excellent Saturday, an excellent Sunday, an excellent Monday. More coming up in a few moments, guys.
Excellent, Bob. Thank you. A fight in Albany this morning left one man dead and another man in police custody. Albany police have charged Tyrone Coles with second-degree manslaughter for allegedly killing 31-year-old Stephen Panza. A passing motorist saw part of the incident and explained it to the police.
Motorist approached him, said that there was a fierce struggle inside of a vehicle up the street, approximately about a mile. The officer went up to the area of Clinton Avenue and Quayle Street, and he found a subject getting out of the vehicle. He looked inside of the vehicle and found the victim slumped over.
Police believe the fight was over drugs or money, but when they searched Stephen Panza's home, they didn't recover any drugs or weapons.
Police won't release the names of the 2 people involved in a deadly crash in Schoharie County now until tomorrow. A car carrying the couple went out of control along Route 30 earlier this afternoon. It crashed into a pole and flipped over before catching fire. Both people inside were thrown from the vehicle. The man was killed when the car landed on top of him. The woman was seriously injured, eventually flown to Bassett Hospital in Cobleskill.
A Cohoes High School student was sentenced today for setting fire to his school's library. His attorney says Brett Valentino accepts responsibility for his actions and is now turning his life around. That comes a year after Valentino broke into the high school, poured gasoline in several spots, and then set the gas on fire, causing $1 million in damage and canceling classes for several days.
His explanation was he was in a very depressed state because of two events that happened in his life. One was a breakup of a long-standing romantic relationship. The other was the loss of his lifelong friend.
Valentino agreed to a plea bargain that gives him 3 1/3 to 10 years in state prison. If his case had gone to trial and he'd lost, he could have received 5 to 15 years in prison.
Firefighters in Rensselaer County decided to let a vacant building in Johnsonville burn instead of risking lives trying to put it out. They fought the fire from the outside, but drew the line at trying to get inside the former Becker's feed store. The building had been abandoned for about 25 years. Investigators still trying to figure out a cause, but they say the building still had power on, so it could have been an electrical fire.
A beloved school secretary got a big surprise tonight from some kids at Hadley Luzerne Central School, where she worked until today. Karen Lehane is just back from Corinth and has the story. Karen?
Well, hi, Lydia. Mrs. York, as she's known to the students, retired today, and she was given a farewell gift sure to keep on giving.
Climb right in there and dust off the rocks, and you can fluff off the plants.
It's the pitter-patter of little hands in this secret garden, tucked away in Nancy York's backyard. It's so secret, Nancy doesn't even know about it.
Wonderful lady.
She spent the last 26 years as the secretary at Hadley Luzerne Central School, being there for these kids.
So she calls me Pumpkin?
And many before them.
Because we're all her kids, whether we're the teachers or the kids in the school or anyone. You know, she's been that person for all of us.
On her last day of school, her first day of retirement, a handful of students slipped over to her house and got planting.
We planted one at school about 5 years ago, and whenever she was missing, we'd know where to find her. She was out in her gardens.
They wanted to continue that tradition close to home.
There are bulbs planted underneath all of that, a couple of hundred bulbs.
With donated soil and bulbs and lots of helping hands, it was a day the kids were encouraged to get dirty. And keep a secret.
Oh my God!
And they did.
These people have been part of my life for so long, and I've been part of theirs, and it was really hard to leave, and now they come down to surprise me with this beautiful garden. I'm getting very emotional.
Every time you miss one of us, you can go look at a flower.
After 7 principals and countless students,
everybody loves her. In fact, we have a sort of a plaque for her that's going in there that says, to Mrs. York, from all of her kids.
I want her to stay.
Mrs. York says she will certainly miss going to school on Monday, but is thinking of getting on the substitution teacher list so she can still see the kids. Lydia?
Well, I can think of one way that she can still see the kids and make the gift even better if they come back every spring and weed.
Ooh, that'd be nice. The little girl we heard from said she would definitely come back and help.
Oh, great. Thank you. Karen Lehane live in the newsroom this evening. Ed?
I have to take you from a good deed in Saratoga County to an act of vandalism in Albany. Several of the J. Seward Johnson sculptures placed around downtown Albany are missing pieces. The tennis player is missing a racket, the frisbee and hand missing from another on Broadway. Yet another was spray painted with black paint, and the guitar player no longer has strings on his instrument. False presidential candidates trying to convince voters that they have the handle on this country's energy problem. We will hear from both of them after the break.
We'll also have an update on Firestone and their latest problem. Then at 12:14, we'll hear from a surfer who survived being attacked by a shark in California. And at 12:34, proof positive that bald can be beautiful.
Live, local, late breaking with Ed Dague and Lydia Kulbida. This is News Channel 13, live at 11. News Channel 13 is sponsored by your Chrysler Plymouth dealer and by Mohawk Valley Physicians Health Plan. Check out News Channel 13 online with MSNBC and NBCIN.
Welcome back to more unrest in Israel on one of the holiest days on the Jewish calendar. Tonight marks the beginning of the new year, known as Rosh Hashanah. But at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, a riot was taking place between Palestinian protesters and Israeli riot police. 60 Palestinians were injured, 3 were shot dead in the street, another dying later in the hospital. In the West Bank today, an Israeli soldier was killed by his Palestinian partner. President Clinton said this afternoon he's trying to talk to both sides to calm the violence.
We're still more than a month away from the presidential election, and the campaign is getting a bit more intense. The biggest issue right now seems to be this country's energy needs. Each candidate trying to capitalize on that issue while voters are feeling the pinch. More on that from Brooke Hart.
Seizing on a clear pocketbook issue for voters, the leading candidates, Bush in Saginaw, Michigan, Gore in Chevy Chase, Maryland, stake out positions to take the energy supply further, particularly the oil supply, fueling the nation's economic boom in the air, on the ground, in the office. Bush's goal, expand domestic oil production, even in environmentally sensitive areas like this Arctic wildlife refuge.
But this is a false choice. We can do both, taking out energy and leaving only footprints.
Gore's focus, protect the environment by reducing dependence on oil.
Let's give new incentives to industry to transform dirty old power plants into modern, clean sources of energy.
Already, high energy prices are hitting home. Car dealer Kent Ritchie sees SUVs roll onto his lot as trade-ins.
They like the lifestyle, but they can't afford to drive them.
In Virginia, sales of insulation, weather stripping, even firewood are up. Consumers responding to energy costs by conserving. Evidence, energy analysts say, that high oil prices can't last.
The bubble will burst soon enough, but it's not politically attractive to say the government can't do anything about it in the short run. It'll soon pass. It's a temporary thunderstorm. Just hold tight. The economy's fine and sound otherwise.
As candidates try to lead, experts say on energy, consumers hold the key to their demand for energy and what it costs. Brooke Hart, NBC News, Washington.
The Firestone Company is taking another hit tonight as the government begins probing another brand of their tires. Federal regulators are now investigating the company's Steelex R4S and AT light truck tires. This comes after 2 deaths and a dozen injuries were linked to the tires. It's reported they have similar problems to the more than 6 million tires already recalled by Firestone.
Bit of a mystery going on in Falmouth, Massachusetts tonight. Military officials trying to figure out how a 6-foot-long section of a jet plane fell off the plane in mid-flight. Officials say it landed on the grounds of a Cape Cod country club. No one injured, but the plane was on a training mission, and base officials believe some frozen water may have caused the part to crack.
A surfer from California is without a surfboard tonight, but that's just fine by him. He was paddling along this morning when a great white shark bumped into him. Seems that made the shark a little angry, so the shark attacked. Luckily, the shark bit the surfboard and missed the surfer by inches.
I've seen them through there. I've wrecked the motorcycle a couple times and some other things, but they're not, you know, you're never in danger of being eaten. Right where the
bite marks on the board were measured and came in at about 13 inches across. Wow.
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've ever been in danger of being eaten that I can recall.
Well then, we've got all the high school football highlights you can handle coming up in sports.
Not, however, before Bob gives us his weekend forecast.
The Olympics are almost over. All right, let's talk about the weekend. Off and running. Great weather. Get some energy. Here we go. Back in a moment.
Coming up, News Channel 13 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Bob Kovachick. Weather on News Channel 13 is sponsored by Cellular One.
Bob wants to go.
I want to go.
Go ahead.
No more talk. All right, let's get to the weather.
Get out of here.
All right, I'm out of here. Gorgeous day today, another cool night, although in both cases not quite as cool as last night, but still chilly, 38 degrees as we speak shortly after midnight. Winds calm, humidity 92, so some fog patches will be forming in the early morning hours. And the barometer rising at 30, 38. 56 the day's high, and a cold start of 29 with frost all over the place early this morning. Beat the old record low of 30 set in 1978. We'll be close to that, probably, perhaps not quite as cold tomorrow morning, but a great warm-up coming for the weekend. 33 now at Saranac Lake, also at Glens Falls and Bennington. Most spots generally now in the mid to upper 30s, but to the west where the wind is stirring a bit more from the south, temperatures tonight are higher from Watertown to Rochester and Buffalo where it's 49. So we will see a gradual warm-up. Nights not as cool, days warmer as we head through the weekend early next week. The next 3, perhaps 4 days should be just pretty excellent weather. Across the nation tonight, again, you can see the cool air from New England down through the mid-Atlantic states. Lots of warm air across mid-country and on into the high plains states. 68 still in Minneapolis. They were 85 today, and I expect some part of that warm air to begin to spill eastward over the next few days. Oh, I almost forgot. Neighborhood Network. Let's go to that right now, and we'll show you current temperatures across the area. Thank you for reminding me, Jim. 39 degrees at Bolton Central School, 34 degrees at Saratoga Springs Junior High. So again, a clear, cold night. 37 at Sacred Heart School in Bennington, 35 in Cobblesville, Richmondville. So again, many spots in the area will touch freezing or a bit below by morning, but then rise very quickly during the day tomorrow. All right, back to the weather maps now. Across the country, generally pretty quiet. We see a band of clouds and scattered light precipitation passing well north of New York. Some showers and storms scattered across Florida, but generally the weather pattern is pretty quiet and mild to warm in most sections of the country. Strong ridge of high pressure that came out of Canada with chilly air during the middle part of the week. Now right over Long Island will move offshore, and we'll enjoy more of a southerly wind flow, and that will cause our warm-up to commence tomorrow and continue through Sunday and Monday. Isaac, a weakening hurricane far from land, heading to the North Atlantic, no problem. Joyce, the tropical storm, has weakened, but may strengthen again down here. May eventually head toward the Leeward or Windward Islands. We'll watch that. But our newest storm is down here in the area just east of the Yucatan, south of western Cuba, something like that. In any event, that is Tropical Storm Keith. That will probably become, don't laugh, will probably become a hurricane heading into the Gulf of Mexico in the next couple of days. I will be back in a moment. Thank you. All right, here we go. So the weekend, excellent high pressure moves away, southwest winds. We can call it a touch of Indian summer through the weekend since we've already had our first frost. Temperatures in the 60s, eventually reaching 70. Clear and chilly for tonight. Areas of early morning fog, 29, 34. Nice day tomorrow. Sunny, warmer, 63 to 68. Tomorrow night, clear, not as chilly as the last couple of nights, 40 to 45. And mostly sunny and beautiful during the day on Sunday. 67 to 72. You got something up your sleeves, I know that. So 70 on Sunday is nice, 71 Monday, 73 on Tuesday. Great weather, maybe some showers on Wednesday.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. That's nice. Is it your wave? Bye, Bob.
That's his Olympic
I have to go.
Well, we spent the last few months knowing how the Yankees did by the look on Bob's face.
Well,
I think we're going to spend the next few months knowing how RPI hockey team does by the look on Ed's face.
We'll know Friday nights at about this time. Well, about an hour ago. Oh, here we go. The start of the college hockey season, and we will hear from the coach, Dan Friedgen. Lots of Friday night football highlights. Highlights from Sydney, and how about one more try for the Yankees? Would they back their way into the AL East title? We'll have it for you coming up on Big Board Sports.